People recite Surah An-Nas every day without realizing the terrifying and beautiful story hidden behind it. A story about fear, darkness, unseen forces, and the protection Allah gave to all of humanity. This is the chapter that shields your heart, your mind, and your soul. But why was it revealed? Who needed this protection? And what secret does Surah An-Nas hold for every believer today? Let's travel back 1400 years and uncover the full story behind Surah An-Nas. Long before this surah was revealed, the people of Makkah were surrounded by superstitions. They feared jinn, magicians, whispers, voices in the night, and unseen shadows that followed them during the day. They believed evil forces were everywhere, waiting to harm them. But when Islam came, it removed superstition and replaced it with truth. It taught that yes, there is an unseen world, but it can only harm you by Allah's permission. And Allah gave protection far stronger than any dark force. Surah An-Nas is one of those protections. The story begins during the final years of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. The atmosphere was peaceful, but something strange started happening. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam began forgetting simple things. He would tie something and later forget he tied it. He would think he visited one wife when he hadn't. He felt weak and tired, unlike before. His companions noticed he didn't look like himself. A calm sadness had spread over him, almost like a heavy, unseen cloud. At that time, the Jews of Medina had a man named Labid ibn al-Asim. He was known for practicing sorcery. After the Prophet ﷺ refused to accept their false requests, this man grew jealous of him. In his jealousy, he performed black magic on the Prophet ﷺ using a comb, hair, and a piece of rope with knots tied around it. He hid this object deep inside a well called Dharwan. With this, the Prophet ﷺ began suffering, not physically in pain, but in confusion and fatigue. This was not magic that harmed his message or changed revelation. It only affected small worldly things. Allah protected the Prophet's mission and his mind, but the magic affected his daily routine, and he felt the weight of something strange slowing him down. Weeks passed as the Prophet ﷺ silently endured this heaviness. Then one night, he saw two angels in a dream. One sat near his head and the other near his feet. The first angel asked, "What is wrong with him?" The second replied, "He has been affected by magic." The first asked, "Who performed it?" The other answered, "Labid ibn al-Asim." "With what?" the angel asked. "With a comb, hair, and a rope with knots tied around it." "Where is it?" the first angel asked. "Inside the well of Dharwan." The Prophet ﷺ woke up suddenly, relieved yet shaken. He told Ali, Zubair, and Ammar to go to the well. When they arrived, the well looked dark, like the water had turned into ink. They found the object just as the angels described, a rope with knots tied tightly. When they brought it back, Allah revealed something that would break every knot of magic, every whisper of evil, and every dark force holding the Prophet ﷺ back. Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas were revealed together. With every verse the Prophet ﷺ recited, a knot untied. As he recited the last verse of Surah An-Nas, the final knot broke. The magic was gone instantly. The heaviness lifted. The confusion disappeared. The sadness vanished. The Prophet ﷺ stood up strong, peaceful, and fully restored. These surahs weren't just sent for him, they were sent for the entire world, for every believer who ever feels fear, doubt, anxiety, whispers, or unseen harm. Surah An-Nas is unique because it is a direct cry for protection. It is the only surah where Allah commands us to seek refuge in Him 3 times. As the Lord of mankind, the King of mankind, and the God of mankind. Each title removes a layer of fear. When you call him the Lord, you admit that he controls everything that happens. When you call him the King, you accept that all power belongs to him alone. And when you call him the God of mankind, you confirm your worship, your trust, your heart belongs only to him. The danger mentioned in the surah is real, powerful, and invisible. It is the whisperer who retreats. Shaitan whispers fear, doubt, sadness, anger, jealousy, and temptations into the human heart. He whispers and then disappears, leaving you thinking the idea came from yourself. This whisper can come from jinn or from humans. Yes, humans can also act like devils when they inspire evil, manipulate emotions, or turn people away from the truth. Surah An-Nas protects you from both. Whenever a believer recites it, a shield forms around the heart. The whisper may try again, but it bounces off. Anxiety tries to enter, but it weakens. Fear approaches, but it loses its grip. That is why the Prophet ﷺ said this surah is one of the greatest protections from every form of spiritual harm. Parents recite it for their children before sleep. Travelers recite it when they are alone. Patients recite it when they feel fear or sickness. Anyone battling sadness, overthinking, or waswas recites it to calm their heart. The power of this surah is not in the sound of the words, it's in the meaning. When you recite Surah An-Nas with belief, you are announcing that no force in this world or the next can harm you unless Allah allows it. It reminds you that the heart is the battlefield and Allah is the one who guards it from the unseen enemy. Surah An-Nas is also a deep psychological healing. The whisperer feeds on fear. He feeds on doubt. He feeds on moments when you feel weak or alone. But when you turn to Allah, the whisperer is forced to retreat. You take away his power. You close the door he uses to enter your thoughts. This surah gives the believer strength that cannot be broken. When Muslims recite it at night, it becomes a blanket of protection. When they recite it in the morning, it becomes a shield over their day. When they recite it during fear, it becomes a sword. When they recite it during sadness, it becomes light. When they recite it during confusion, it becomes clarity. Surah An-Nas teaches that the greatest danger is not an enemy outside, it's the whisper inside. Battles of the heart are the hardest, and Allah gave us the weapon to win them. Every word of the surah cuts the rope of fear. Every verse pushes back the darkness. Every line reminds you that Allah is the one who guards, protects, and rescues his servants. The revelation of Surah An-Nas was not just the ending of a magic spell, it was a message for every human being until the last day. A message that says, no matter what darkness surrounds you, no matter what fear whispers inside you, no matter what force tries to harm you, we have a protector who is stronger than anything in the universe. Recite this surah, hold it close, make it your companion. This is the story of Surah An-Nas, a story of fear and relief, darkness and light, vulnerability and divine protection. It is a story that continues every time you recite it, every night before sleep, and every morning when you ask Allah to shield your heart from the unseen world.